Today, PressReader Covers Fashion. We gathered some of Vancouver's top influencers to chat inspiration, global trends, and when they knew they'd lead a life in the fashion industry. How about you guys?
Out of the womb.
Out of the womb.
Yeah. Well, my parents work in fashion, right? So, born and raised.
Born and raised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a pretty big tomboy, but I think when I was maybe in grade 5 or something like that, I got a Vogue magazine. And I remember it so well, like all the pages in it, and I read it like for 5 months, because for me that was like such a big expense to get a Vogue magazine. $6.
Right.
And,
how much is the most you guys have ever spent on a magazine?
Probably 20, no, 30 bucks.
Like, oh, okay, maybe 20, but
That was in my 30s. But remember like, being in like grade 9 and 10 and getting all those magazines, like ripping out the pages and like posting them on your wall. I feel like that was at like W magazine. It was like what magazines was, I feel like it was
Or your agenda.
But now
What's your favorite fashion city then? Like if you were looking at a publication.
I love Paris, but I just love Paris in general.
Right, so the whole mode is there.
Yeah, I feel really connected to Paris. I think
Right.
like traveling, you have to be connected to the place that you go to. I mean, London's really cool. I've never been to Australia, but I feel like
London has such a different vibe. Like when I was living there.
London's awesome because it's cheerless.
Shoes and
people don't care.
Yeah, that kind of like that's what I mean. Like you can just wear whatever you want. You could travel around and they're just wearing whatever,
Color
like, sneakers, boots,
Yeah.
studs, like denim, leather, like
I'm the
90s,
same as you though, where I'm
70s.
like, I am like French originally, so growing up for a little bit in high school in France, like I love that, but then I came back and I was like super awkward too, and so I'm like 16 and all like French, and people are like, you look so dumb. But yeah, it's like, that's why now I go back to Paris and I feel so connected, even though it's kind of merged a bit more, there still is that Paris girl, like Jean Demar, like whoever who's there, it's so effortless and I love it, because I really want to always strive for that, but
I always wish I was bold enough to wear like Tokyo fashion. Don't think I can quite pull it off.
But I was like, you could.
The one person who can pull this off this table is Jackie. Like,
Didn't you go there?
Yeah, I went to Tokyo, but it was sort of like after my like I was dressing like I worked in Electric Circus.
Go every time I go to Europe, I buy my sister's like a Vogue or something from wherever I am. You can't read it, so you have to like Google Translate.
almost better.
Yeah, totally.
You are looking at the ads too. I feel like when I was a kid, especially, I used to open a magazine and I would go through each page like one at a time. I would never look ahead, and I would just look at every single ad.
Spanish editions actually I'm a big fan of. Like I like the kind of flair they
Yeah,
put.
Sexier.
Yeah, sexier. They're, you know, the girls are wearing short shorts. Like you would Rome and you walk down the street in jean shorts, people are like,
Oh, I dressed in Berlin in Paris, and that was a mistake. Literally the dirtiest looks
Yeah,
I've ever
I
had in
bet.
my life.
Really?
Yeah.
as if
Oh,
they
yeah,
don't
yeah.
like it.
How Berlin were you, Berlin?
Oh my
though?
god, like jewels all over my face. Like, metallic green. Like,
love it.
yeah.
Fashion magazines have always been the place where the best photography, styling, and editorial work gets showcased. So we hooked our influencers up with PressReader, where they can score real-time, unlimited access to all their favorite fashion mags from around the globe in one place.
Love it.
this is Al Italy.
Oh, Italy.
It's a beautiful photo.
So, and then once you download, you can keep them for as long as you want. So on my iPad here, I have Vogues going back to the fall anyway, from like France and Italy. They're all still here, full versions. If you're on an airplane, you have no internet, you can just open it up and start reading.
You have to download while you're online.
You do, yeah.
So you can search by country, you can go in there by title, you can go in there basically under interests. I'm clearly looking at my boyfriend's because it's all loaded up with like Forbes and GQ.
So do you have to categorize it by different categories? Could you just type it
You can
in
type it in. So once
publication?
you're in publications, you can type in like, you know, yeah, you want to go like Harper's Bazaar, you want to go to Vanity Fair, whatever it is, you can just flip in there.
Is it literally page by page?
Yeah, it's the exact magazine.
I just flipped through.
They send us the same file that they would send to their printers, so that it's literally the exact same publication.
And the second it goes to print too. Something that said, yeah, you can download it automatically when it comes available.
Yeah. So if you have like something set as your favorite for you, every time there's a new Vogue, boom, there it is on your tablet.
Auto delivery there. Okay.
Yeah. Translation. In case any of you, in case you want to read it in French.
Translate it.
So you can translate it, so you can get it into English.
There you go.
There you go, problem solved. You can zoom in on like a handbag.
Crazy.
I always end up reading like on your phone, so you're like, it's way too small. Sometimes it's not the same size as a magazine.
Yeah.
You can still zoom in, see everything full size. You can share articles to your Facebook.
It's so good because having a bunch of magazines around is like junky.
Terrible for the environment too.
And they're so heavy. You know, and you want to carry like 10 magazines with you, like you can have, I have 200 on here that are
So
down.
good for travel.
Yeah.
And then the
does
second they come out, they're on here. So like September issues, instead of chasing them, I used to do this, I'd be driving around and being like, who has it? Who has it?
Yeah.
But it's just there when you wake up the same day that it's available overseas.
This would be super beneficial for like brands who get featured a lot. If you needed to keep a group of like everything that all your features.
And then you can create collections. So let's say you wanted on your own channel to say like, this is my favorite French fashion. These are my favorite shoes for fall 2016. You can create little collections, and then people can follow you and see what your picks are in each of those categories. So you can pick from anything on our platform.
Well, I just straight up printed, like went through a thing of ink when we did our spring collection for Bernetsley, because we're going to like have a fashion line for fall and spring, right?
Right.
There's those
a lot of international content
in New York that sell like all the magazines, and there's nothing else like it.
So how do you feel magazine content differs from content online when it comes to fashion, or does it?
I feel like most of them, not all blogs, but a lot of blogs are focused on being more accessible, and that's their power, is kind of empowering people to sort of use the tools that they're teaching them, styling tools, and really kind of not dumbing it down necessarily, but making it super, super simple. Yeah, it's immediate. Like we're posting what's happening right now, whereas there's so much more planning and really attention going into like creating a real message for each edition, you know?
I think there's a place for both, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I feel like magazines really pull that, like, they're talking to the designers directly, like, unless you're like blog queen up here, like you're not having a sit down with Givenchy and like being like, tell me about what the house was thinking when you guys designed this.
But going back to what you said, it's like when I go to a store and buy a magazine, I know that I'm gonna give myself 45 minutes to sit down and read it with a glass of wine and give myself that time. Whereas like blog, it's very quick.
Kind of goes to mention, I mean, there's some bloggers here and whatnot, and there's some great bloggers, but it's also, we live in a bit of a day and age where everybody's a blogger, and anybody can publish their content and their story with very little editing if they want to. So you can be exposed to something fantastic or something that you're like, did I just waste 5 minutes?
And it's one person, right? It's one person's idea, not a community of experts.
And it's authentic, but there's a time and a place, and sometimes you want something that's edited and professional, and it's a cohesive idea, like from the top down, like you were talking about.
It kind of becomes something else too if they take a bunch of models and they ship them off to some remote island in the Pacific, and they put a girl in like a couture gown on an elephant, and it's like just so far from reality, but it's such a visual inspiration.
That's part of the magic of it. Is that it's a dream.
Instagram is more personal than magazine. Magazine is like aspirational. Social media is personal.
Cool, ladies. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for coming. Cheers. If anyone's got anything left. Right.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for having us today. I can't wait to use PressReader for all my traveling. You're going to save my back.
In design, we waste so much time every season cutting and pasting out design boards. So PressReader is going to be awesome for educating our junior designers on what's hot for the season.
I'm pretty excited to get back to reading magazines again. I feel like I haven't for a while, and this app has over 5,000 publications on it. I can take it traveling with me, I can take it on the ferry. It can just be in my bag so easy, so I'm pretty excited to be back reading them again.
PressReader covers everything from fashion, sports, economics, architecture, design, everything in between. So make sure to download the free app today to discover what interests you. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.